Hey everybody, welcome back. Monday Morning Briefing, episode number 108. It is Monday, January the 8th, 2024. We didn't have one last week because we were really busy in the shop, just trying to get some orders out. We had sent out a newsletter the weekend of New Year's. Usually the week between Christmas and New Year's, we're kind of slow in here, kind of cleaning up, organizing, thinking about the coming year, trying to get things buttoned up from the previous year or the soon ending year. And then so last week we were just trying to get some of the orders done. We had sent out a newsletter and it had a newsletter exclusive coupon code in there as just kind of an end of the year thank you to our newsletter group. And so if you want to be on the newsletter, I highly suggest that this year especially. And you can go to dgsaddlery.com and sign up for that on almost every page on our website. There's a form there, you can fill that out. But we sent that out, had a great response to it. I want to thank everybody that took part of that. But we ended up selling out on some of our pattern packs. I honestly was not expecting to sell out, especially on the ones that we did. One of them was a simple briefcase. That one's fairly new, but also the gunsling, again, sold out, as well as our guitar strap. And those are two older patterns that do really well for us. So thank y'all for that. But we ended up running out, so we obviously allowed back orders just like we did at Christmas time. And our printing company, they're kind of slow right there in the middle, of the coming year as well. A lot of people kind of shut down and slow down between Christmas and New Year's, and maybe that potentially first week of New Year's. But we put an order in. So if you ordered that weekend and your order hasn't moved, because we did print all the labels, we got all the packages ready to go. They've got clips and notes on them on what they're missing, and they're missing one pattern. And those patterns got here today, Monday morning. They really hustled up and got me enough to just at least fill the back order. So we've got another full order we need to make with them. We've taken inventory, and so we're going to start the year off hopefully with plenty of patterns. We'll continue to have plenty of our printed pattern packs throughout the year as we did last year, as well as a lot of new patterns that we're working on and doing that. So it's kind of been slow going, honestly, this last week, just trying to get the new year kicked off and doing that. And we've got a couple new tables coming in for our future classes that we're going to have this year. And like I said, we'll have that schedule out here maybe by next week as far as at least some of the first few that we're going to do. The first show that we're going to, though, is we're getting ready to go to Prescott, Arizona next month. So February, towards the end of February, you can go to the Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal and look at all the events that they put on throughout the year. So they'll start off the year with Prescott, then they'll have, or Prescott, whichever one you prefer, and then they'll do Sheridan, Wyoming in May, Waco in August, Waco, Texas, and then I think they have one in Europe. I think it's maybe in the Netherlands or something. They have one over there as well. But those are the three main shows that they have here. And I highly suggest going to one of those or all of them if you can. And going to the workshops. There's going to be most of their shows. They'll start on Tuesday with the workshops. That'll run up until Friday. And then the show starts Friday, Saturday, and I think Prescott maybe a Sunday half a day this year. But anyway, you can go to their website, Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal. Go to their website. You can find out all the information about their shows and what's going on. But we're excited to be getting ready for that. But we will be trying to get our class schedule here in the shop as well. Just kind of getting going. Like I said, the end of the year, usually if you're running your shop as a business, and you're trying, even if it's just a side business, whatever, we've all got to deal with taxes. We've got to deal, if you're in the United States, obviously, I don't know about other countries on how y'all do that kind of stuff, but here you've got to deal with your taxes. That's going to be coming up April 15th. We try to get everything closed out in January from the previous year. So we're beginning to do our inventory here in the shop. We may have talked about this last year around this time. Inventory is definitely not my favorite thing to work on. It's not a lot of fun, and it's getting harder and harder just because of all the products that we're now carrying and keeping in stock for you guys. And so we've got to count all that stuff, which we've got a little system down, and it's not too terrible, but it's just monotonous, and it's one of those parts of business that most people don't see. It's part of the deal that's behind the scenes. Every business out there, grocery store, gas station, repair shops, your retail locations, anybody has to do this to account for their books and what they have on the books as far as inventory goes. Normally, From what I understand, I'm not a CPA. I have one. I highly suggest everybody that's in business at least have a friend that's a CPA that you can bounce questions off of, because it's hard reading the tax code on your own and trying to understand exactly what it's saying. And some of it is so muddy that it's just kind of left open to interpretation to me in some of that stuff. But it's a good thing to have somebody in your corner that you can work with, that you can trust, that can help you and guide you through those questions that you might have. And like for me, we try to keep our inventories lower towards the end of the year and try to get those down a little bit, because whatever's on the books officially as of December 31st is counted towards inventory for that year, that tax year. And so that's why you'll see a lot of retailers running big sales, big blowout sales right at the end of the year after Christmas, because they're trying to move the bulk of that inventory so they don't have it on the books come the turn of the new year. But you can get with your CPA and talk about that, your tax advisor, kind of talk those things through. If you're running a small side business in your home, just kind of doing things here and there, extra money is not really your main focus. It's a lot easier to deal with. It's not that big of a deal, but you just want to be sure that you're getting any questions you have. You want to be sure you're getting good information so that you're doing that properly and just kind of keeping up with it. It's not that big of a deal until you get to the big companies and stuff. They have people on staff all year long that take care of that. But for us small guys, it's just a matter of just being sure you know how to navigate it, what's going on, what you need to take care of, what you need to account for, and just keeping it straight. But anyway, we're fooling with that. Try to get that done. I would like to, every year I say I would like to turn in all of my stuff to my CPA in January. I haven't done that in probably a decade. It never seems to be able to work out that way, but we try to get it in as early as we can. So I'm going to try to get it to him this month if I can, and that way we can get that off our plate, because we got a lot of stuff going on in the spring. We're really excited. With Prescott adding that show in there, we've got about 6 weeks, I would guess, something like that. 6 weeks to get ready, maybe 5 weeks to get everything ready to go, get our classes lined out. We are teaching 2 separate classes in Prescott, but each class I'm doing 2 days worth or 2 classes worth, and that was to allow for more opportunity for folks. And so I believe those classes are full. There may be a few spots open, but you can go again to Leathercrafters and Saddlers Journal's website and you can see all the workshops. There's a ton of instructors there, so be sure and check that out. But we're going to be getting ready to go to that. We are doing some what I call infrastructure build here in the shop, as far as just getting it more efficient. It doesn't look like we're going to have any extra square footage. We're trying to find more square footage in downtown so that we can build eventually a school, where we can have our room for a classroom that's always set up, and it's not just, break it down when we're done with class so that we can work in here. But it doesn't look like we're going to find anything in the immediate future. So what we're trying to do is just make the best use of our space. And that's always the hardest thing for all of us as craftsmen, is making the best use of the footage that you have in your workshops. If I started out in a extra bedroom in my house that we were renting when I was in college. And I thought that was more than enough space than ever. And every time we moved, I got more and more space. And ultimately, like I said, ended up buying a shop and doing that. But just utilizing the amount of space you had. Before we came here, we were in a 1,000 square foot building, and we used it very efficiently. A lot of our older videos are in that Wheelock location when we were in Wheelock, Texas. And I didn't think it would work because it was so small, but it was a great location. It was a great deal for where we were in that season of our life. And so we got in there and it worked out perfect. And then I moved in here and we've oozed out into, we're 2,500 square feet, I think, here, and I'm running out of room. So it's just a matter of organizing and efficiencies. And I'm not the best at that, honestly. If any of y'all have come here and visited the shop, you've probably seen it. It's usually a wreck. It's usually a lot of projects going on, a lot of things going on, a lot of clutter. But we're trying to get better and better every year. That's all you got to do, is just keep trying, keep moving things around, keep trying to figure out better organizing things that you can make it work. because I've seen some highly efficient, highly organized working locations, shops, workshops, not just leather shops, but metal shops, any of that kind of stuff that are just super efficient. And the way they're laid out, the way machines are set up, where things are, where supplies are. So there's a lot of material, a lot of content out there on the internet about organizing workshops and organizing your workspace and stuff like that. And it's really neat. I've actually watched a few of, I think it's Adam Savage on YouTube with his workshop, and his is just, I don't know how he finds anything in there, but it's super organized. Like if you look at it, but he's got so much stuff. Of course, you know, Mythbusters and doing all this stuff. That was a lot of things going on that he needed material from one extreme to the other. So he, I'm sure, saves everything and has a place for everything. It's very interesting. I'm not quite that bad, but I've got quite a bit of leather. There's a lot of stuff that you don't want to throw away because you think you may use, but where do you put it? That's the biggest question. Scrap leather management is probably my biggest fight in my workshop, and has been for many, many years, is just what do I do with scrap. And now, you know, we sell a lot of that. Over Christmas, we did do some 3 to 4 ounce necks in boxes, 3 necks to a box. We sold those and they sold out, and that really helped me. So thank you to all that bought those, because you really pulled a lot of stress off of me by taking those necks off my hands, because I did not want to throw those away. But they were getting older, and leather does not necessarily have an expiration date, but it's more of a liability because it gets light damage, it can get wet, it can get, you know, bug get in there and stain part of it, whatever. And so I just try to cut it up, try to use it, try to move it, try to keep it turned over, because you don't want old leather sitting on the rack for 2 or 3 years, because especially with veg tan, if you're doing with oil tans, you usually don't have to worry about that. I will save oil tan for years because it's always going to be good, but veg tan especially will get, you know, more firm, may get discolored. There's things that can happen to it that make it to where when you finally go to try to use it, you just chunk it because it's not any good. And so that's something that you got to watch for with veg tan leather. But that's kind of what we're doing in here this week. We do have a brand new leather shipment that will be here today. FedEx called me last Friday and told me that it would be here Monday. So we have a whole shipment of leather coming. So if y'all have been looking for golf ball sleeves, gun slings, belt material packs, all of those things that we have been out of since right after our Thanksgiving sale or Black Friday sale, we will have those back in stock this week. So be sure to keep a lookout on the website. I had an Amber Alert go off on the phone, so but we will have those back in stock this week, so keep an eye on the website. I probably will send out a newsletter to let everybody know when they are up and available, but we've got a lot of leather coming, so we'll be cutting for that. I'm going to try to probably get another shipment in before Prescott so that we've got plenty of inventory when we go out there, but we'll kind of look at that and see where we're at here in the next couple weeks after we refill everything on the website. As far as pattern packs, like I said, they are currently open to back order. So if you order one and it sits there, it's because we might be out of something. As of right now, we should be good. We've got the big order that we've got to put in, but I needed to get those back order ones in as quick as possible just so I could fill these orders from a week ago, or week and a half ago, whatever it was, New Year's weekend. And so we're going to get those out of here, and then we'll do the big order for our pattern. So, but I think everybody generally likes the back order option just so that they know they have one. Even if we're out, it may take a little bit longer, but at least we'll get it out to you and you'll have your copy coming. But I'll be pretty busy with that today. Once that leather shipment gets here, we're going to unload that. We're getting a lot of rain here in Moulton since early this morning, like probably 3 o'clock in the morning started raining. We've gotten quite a bit of rain, so I'm hoping that'll let off whenever our leather gets here, because a lot of times I don't have a forklift and he doesn't have a lift on the back of the truck a lot of times, so we have to piecemeal it out of that big 18-wheeler and unload it by hand. And I'm hoping that it's not raining, because I don't want that leather to get wet. It's not a deal breaker, but I'd prefer it not have water spots on the outer piece on the rolls. And so we'll get that unloaded and get that going. Other than that, I'm working on some videos, working on some projects for pattern packs, for new project videos that we'll have out. Hopefully in the next week or so, we'll have one out. maybe by next week, as well as working on a saddle. I've got one going for a customer. I've got a couple I need to start, and then I've got one that I've had that you've seen in many Monday videos here, sitting here, not changed at all. And the reason is just because of the fall schedule and stuff. I just hadn't had a whole lot of time to work on it, and so now we're back on it. We're going to get it going, and so I've got a fender. If you follow us on Instagram, you may have seen the initial layout of this fender here. And it's just, I'm gonna do, I don't know what it's gonna be tooled fenders and tooled housings maybe. I haven't decided, but it'll be somewhere between a 1/2 and a 3/4 floral. And that saddle is just an extra one that I had that was in a spot where I could get it started. So we started piddling on it, and it will be available for sale potentially when it's done. No idea when I'll have it finished. I'm not in a big hurry on it because I got customer saddles I need to build as well. And then I've got to get my saddle going for Sheridan for the World Leather debut. So we're currently going over some ideas and some different concepts and things that I might want to do for that saddle to have something to enter there and see what goes on. We had a lot of fun last year with the Wildlife saddle, and it's still in the shop. If you come by the shop, you can certainly check that saddle out and see if you can find all the critters on there. But that saddle was just on display here in the store, and so I'm just kind of trying to come up with something cool to make for Sheridan for this year. So we'll kind of scheme on that a little bit and go from there and see what we come up with. As far as us at home, we've got our Moulton Livestock Show this weekend, and so we've got a heifer show on Saturday. The series that we've been showing in, so we'll go to that, and then on Sunday we will have the Moulton Livestock Show, and my little girl will show her very first official steer in 4-H, and he is looking really good. We got him bathed and clipped yesterday, and so he's all haircutted up and ready to go, and so he's going to be good. We feel like we're good on weight on him, so he's going to make weight hopefully with no problem, and she's excited. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that Saturday. I think we've got grandparents coming in and things, and so she's excited. She's been showing for 3-4 years now, but this is a little different just because it's official 4-H, and she's going to be showing her first steer, and so she's done really well with this steer. I'm really proud of her, and we're excited to see how he does. And then we will be taking him to the Austin show. We're going to go ahead and do that for her major show is going to be Austin, just because it's her first time going to a major. We didn't want to battle Houston or San Antonio or Fort Worth this first trip, so we're going to kind of let her test the waters at majors, because I don't know a lot about it. My wife knows a ton about it, and she grew up showing. She showed Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, all that growing up. All I did was show pigs in our county show, and then we roped, and that's all we did. And so I never got to experience that stuff. So I'm following her lead, but she said Austin will be a good one. Just a little lower key, a little slower pace. It's not super big. I've been to Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo many times. We've done some stuff with them before back in the day, and it's an event. It's big. As most of y'all know, most people go to Houston or San Antonio or Fort Worth. Those are really big shows, and so we're going to let her test out Austin, and then maybe next year she'll be ready to go. Not sure that her steer is of caliber to go to one of those bigger ones, but maybe next year she'll have one that'll do that. But I think she's got a very good quality steer, and we're having fun with it, and so that's the main thing. She's learning a lot and having a blast. So my little boy's he likes showing, but he's much more into wanting to ride and wanting to do stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm sure he'll show most of his time with us. He's into it, but it's just not as much as her. She's very competitive and really enjoys it. So we're getting excited about that. So big weekend for us here for that. That'll be our big time Moulton, Texas show, and we'll go do that. But that's what we're up to here in the shop. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Let's get this year going. I'm really excited about 2024. I hope in your shop you've already got a bunch of orders. I talked to a bunch of y'all that are just like, man, we're busy already. We're getting some orders and stuff. So I hope that's happening for you as well. If not, don't worry. January is usually kind of a hit or miss month. It always has been for me. Everybody's kind of fatigued after Christmas and the holidays and everything, and so things tend to slow down a little bit in January, but they'll ramp right back up come February. Everybody's going to be getting ready to go, and shows and different things, and people getting out and riding, and so that'll be coming pretty fast. But I'm going to get back here to cutting. I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to go to dgsaddlery.com and sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter, and I'll see you next week in the Monday morning briefing.